Hey, mathletes, welcome to this week's homework where we're looking at lines, rays, and angles, all things measurement and geometry related. So, we started off with looking at some protractors, just a couple of reminders when we're looking at protractors that there are two sets of numbers, and it is super important to know the difference between them. So, we have the inside numbers, which go from 180 to 0, and then we have our outside numbers, which go from 0 to 180. The way that your angle opens tells you what set of numbers to use. So if my angle is opening this way, meaning that I'm pointing to the right, I'm going to use this 0 because we're always going to start at 0. If my angle is opening and pointing to the left, I'm going to use the outside 0. So be very careful. Make sure that you're looking at the right set of numbers when you are doing your measurements. And it can also be helpful to use a ruler to help you line it up a little bit as well. Okay, and with that, let's jump in. This first one, again, it opens here, so we're using the inside numbers. This is going to be about 70 degrees. The second one, it opens to the left, so we're going to use the outside circle, or I'm sorry, outside numbers, I should say. It's not a circle. And this is going to be about between the 80 and the 90, which is going to be half or 85 degrees. Down here, we're using the outside circle. And if you see my rulers, kind of a little bit of a guidance, not only for where it points, but it also gives you measurement. This one is going to be between the 10 and the 20, so it's at 15 degrees. Over here, I am opening, come on, ruler, cooperate. I am opening to the right, so I'm using the inside numbers. And this one's going to go straight up. This is going to be 90 degrees, also known as a right angle. Coming down here, we're using the inside numbers. I see that it's going right between. It's going to be 145. Be careful when you're doing these because since we're going back and forth, the in-between is going to be different. So as we're going down, it's still increasing. So it's between 140 and 150, meaning it's past the 140, add 5. Just make sure you take a second to count carefully on those. Last one over here, using the outside numbers. This is going to be 150 degrees. Just as a reminder, let's say that I confuse these and I want to use the inside numbers, which was 30. I know that the 30-degree angle is cute. It is so cute and teeny tiny. So when I look at this, if I said, oh, this is 30 degrees, my brain should start to tell me, absolutely not. This is not 30 degrees because a 30-degree angle is very small and cute, like pinchy fingers. This is a vacation angle. They're absolutely laying back and relaxing. Any questions on these kiddos? Bring them with you to class. All right, my nuggets, this time you had to draw your angle. It told you whether to open right or open left, so telling you which set of numbers to use and then giving you the degrees. So I'm going to draw this first one, opening to the right. So I'm going to draw my line across to about the 90. And then I want it to be 20 degrees. So I'm going to find my 20 degrees. I'm going to line it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be progress. And there we go. So here's my 20-degree angle opening to the right. Over here, I'm opening to the left. So I'm going to switch my line. So I'm going to start opening to the left, coming out to about the 90-degree angle. And I'd like this to be 80 degrees. So if I take my ruler, and again, I highly suggest a ruler. If you don't have one, don't buy one. We have options. Use the side of a book, use a piece of paper, use a notebook. Anything that has a straight side would absolutely be helpful. This one is opening to the left, and it is 80 degrees. Down here, still opening to the left. I'm going to draw my bottom line out about to the 90, and I need it to be 135 degrees. Again, I'm using the outside. So I find the spot that's between 130 and 140. There we go. And I want to draw. There we go. It's going to be a little bit over. That's okay. 135 degrees. Switching it up. We are back opening to the right. So I am going to draw my line. Trying to get it to about the 90 degrees. And this time I want to be 175 degrees. So I'm coming this way. As a reminder, 180 degrees is a straight line, so this is going to be almost a straight line. There we go, 175 degrees. Down here again, still opening to the right. I want 90 degrees, which is going to be my straight up and down. Actually, I'm going to start with the 90 on this one because it'll give me a better idea of where to end my bottom line. Boop. And then my bottom line opening to the right using the inside. There's my 90-degree angle. All right, I have one more opening to the left. And I'd like this one to be 100 degrees. So I'm going to draw my bottom line just like that. And then I need my 100 degrees, which would be there. So I went a little far in the back, but that's okay. Here is my 100-degree angle. So just in case you didn't see them as well because of the ruler, we have 120, 175, 90 all opening to the right. And then we have 100, 135, 80 all opening to the left. Questions on these? Bring them with you to class. All right, Nuggets, it's time to name that picture. What are these? Are these lines? Are these rays? Are these angles? This guy right here, he's just a point. Just a point. This one right here, we have one arrow. It's a ray. Rays continue on in one direction. Here we have 3 points, 2 rays meeting at a shared point. This makes an angle. If we end at 2 spots, it's a line segment. It's just a piece that doesn't continue. It would need angles on both sides to continue. This guy right here, it's a ray continuing on in just one direction. And here we continue on in both directions, which makes this a line. Any questions? Bring them with you to class. All right, Nuggets. We are looking at whether these lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Let's review. Parallel lines continue on forever, but they never touch. They have a big case of the stayaways. They will never come together. Perpendicular, they cross, but they make a right angle. So we're looking for lines that either never touch or touch and make a right angle. If they cross, but not at a right angle, they're called intersecting lines. So we would call those neither for this, okay? So we have parallel. They're going to keep going forever and never touch. These would be neither. These would be a case of the intersecting lines, so they're not going to count. These would be neither. They're going to continue and touch, so they're not parallel. These would be neither. These are also intersecting. There's no right angle. Here's our first perpendicular. Look at that beautiful right angle. And then these would be another case of the parallel. So we have 3 neithers. These would be intersecting. These would be intersecting. These would be intersecting. But we don't make a right angle. Parallel at the top, parallel at the bottom, and 1 set of perpendiculars. Any questions? Bring them with you to class. Last one. How many pairs of opposite sides are parallel? As a reminder, when we're looking at opposite sides, it's just like what it sounds like. Opposite and opposite. If these kept going forever and ever and ever, they would never touch. These continue. These continue. We have 2 pairs. Remember, a pair is 2. 2 pairs of parallel lines. Over here, we have opposites. We have opposites. This is 2 pairs of parallel lines. Another fun fact, when we're talking about rectangles or squares, they have right angles, which means that their opposite lines are always parallel. Let's take a look at this guy trying to trick you. Opposites and opposites. Something you'll notice if you extend these, they're going to meet down here. So we have 1 pair of parallels, these top lines and bottom. They're going to continue forever, and they're never going to touch. This guy, opposites and opposites, even though they have a little bit of a slant, they are going to both be parallel. They're not going to meet if you continue them on. This guy, we have opposites and opposites. This one would take a little bit to cross, but eventually the red lines are going to cross. One pair of parallels. And then this last one, we have opposites and opposites. You're going to end up with two pairs, even though they look a little wonky, they are not going to cross. Any questions? Bring them with you to